In this short animation, we will discuss how our behaviour and use of equipment can contribute towards the energy consumption of your office, and what you can do to help reduce this. As some things might be out of your control, we've focused on 5 common areas that you can either start doing immediately or suggest to your manager. The first area, often synonymous with offices, are computers and monitors, which are usually left on for most of the working day and often at night too. There are 2 things you can do here. Firstly, and most simply, remember to switch off your monitor when you're away from your desk, and switch off both the computer and monitor when you leave for the day. The second thing you can do is enable the energy saving settings on your computer. This will automatically send your computer into a sleep or hibernate mode after a set period of time, and will use only a fraction of its normal operating energy. This setting is available on most computers and is relatively simple to set up. If you can't find this or change it yourself, speak to your manager to see if these can be changed for you and your colleagues. The need to print and photocopy has largely been replaced with email and on-screen reading. However, sometimes it's necessary to have a hard copy. Modern photocopiers and printers are quite efficient and will often go into standby mode when idle, but are still consuming energy. Remember to switch these off at the end of the day, or speak to your manager about purchasing timer switches. The average office uses over 1 million sheets of paper each year. The carbon associated with this paper use is the equivalent of 8 people commuting to work by car for a year. Before you print, think first about whether you could email or read it on your screen instead. If you do need to, then here are some tips on how to cut down on the paper, printer, and toner usage. Only print the pages you need. In some cases, you may only need to print a section of the document. Print on both sides. Modern printers often have a duplex option, allowing you to print on both sides and cutting your paper usage in half. Speak to your manager about changing to this setting as a default. Print 2 pages per side and on both sides. If you have this option, you could cut your paper usage in half again. Print in black and white. Black and white toner is not only cheaper than colour toner, but is more environmentally friendly. Lighting typically accounts for around 25% of an office's electricity costs, and around 15% of this can typically be saved by switching it off when it's not needed. In meeting rooms and other smaller rooms, remember to switch off the lights as you leave, or even put up messaging to remind others to do the same. You may not have control of the lighting within the main office or communal areas, but it's important to notify your manager where lights are left on unnecessarily or where there is enough natural daylight. In these cases, open the blinds. An alternative to switching off lights manually is to install occupancy sensors to ensure lighting is only on when it is needed. Suggest this to your manager. Finally, if you're the last one in the office, remember to switch off the lights. A good way to remind and encourage others to do this is by using eye-catching and interesting signs. The Carbon Trust has posters and stickers which can help you do this effectively. Do you ever find yourself working in short sleeves in the winter or a jumper in the summer? A comfortable office temperature should be around 20 to 21 degrees Celsius. Turning the heating down by just 1 degree could save your organisation up to 8% on its heating bills. If you feel too warm or too cold in your office, speak to your manager about adjusting the temperature controls. If you don't already have one, order a Carbon Trust thermometer so you can monitor the temperature in your office. The average commuter travels around 8.6 miles each day to work. Using public transport such as trains, trams or buses instead of taking your car to work has a much lower environmental impact. Even better, you could consider cycling or walking to work. It's better for your health and the environment, and it will save you money on commuting costs. If you don't own a bicycle, ask your employer about joining a Cycle to Work scheme, which allows employers to loan bicycles and equipment as a tax-free benefit to employees. If public transport isn't easily accessible and walking or cycling isn't practical, then driving doesn't necessarily have to be environmentally unfriendly or expensive. You could consider joining a carpool. You don't even need to be a driver, just willing to pay your share of the fuel. Speak to your colleagues and find out if others living near you wish to join in. Each year, a typical office consumes around the same energy as 12 households. If you manage to make all the changes that we've discussed in this short video, then you could reduce the energy consumption in your office by more than a quarter. And if every office in the UK was to follow suit, we'd make enough savings to provide 1/5 of Scotland's entire annual electricity needs. We hope this short video has given you some practical tips and ideas which you can convert into savings in your office. If you would like to learn more about saving energy or raising awareness, visit the link below, or order some of the Carbon Trust's awareness-raising materials.